Hi, my name is Jodie Gwenter and I'm a pharmacist in the south of Wales, available on my Twitter handle and that's @jgwenter. I'm here today to vlog to you about two things that's been on everyone's mind, and that is Brexit and FMD. Let's start with FMD, the Falsified Medicines Directive. Sounds scary, I know, but the whole purpose of FMD is to provide protection to the public, to our patients, from counterfeit medicines. It comes into play on the 9th of February 2019, where it would be a legal requirement for all pharmacies to comply with the stipulations in the new legislation. So if you haven't looked into FMD already, now's your time, and I hope this vlog will help you along the way. Did you know that up to 1% of medicines in industrial countries like the UK would be counterfeit, and up to 30% in developing countries? And I guess the problem is just growing and growing as more services become available online. So that's exactly what FMD is trying to prevent. What do we mean by counterfeit medicines? Well, they're fake medicines that's in our circulation, in our supply chain, that potentially our patients might get. And so, of course, that's extremely dangerous. So we're talking about medicines that haven't got the right active ingredient, medicines that have the wrong packaging, or medicines that just have the wrong ingredients altogether. So we have to do something about this problem. This new legislation makes it a legal requirement to have 2 safety features on every single packet of medicines available and sold. Now, this only applies to prescription-only medicines. It doesn't apply to GSL or P-only medicines, so medicines that you buy from shops or medicines that you buy from pharmacies. So it's prescription-only medicines. So what are we looking for? Well, you're looking for something that we call a unique identifier that is carried within a 2D data matrix code. Now, it sounds like something out of the matrix itself, but it honestly isn't that complicated. You're looking for this symbol on a packet of medicines that you can scan to verify that the product is what it is meant to be. The other bit that you're looking for is this anti-tamper seal. So both features will be used to check that these medicines are real and that they're safe for onward supply to members of our public. So let's take a deeper dive into what that means practically for us on the ground. Well, essentially, you or your organisation will have to buy some FMD equipment, essentially a scanner. That means that you can scan this barcode. You also need to register with what would they call or are calling a European repository of information about these medicines. So it's basically this central database across Europe that you can verify that your product is what it is meant to be. Once you have these in place, then you can carry out your 2-stage processes. One is verification and one is decommissioning. Verification means you basically have to have it written into your standard operating procedures somewhere along the supply chain that you have checked that it has a tamper-proof seal, and also that you've scanned this barcode and verified it with European repository that the medicine is real. The second stage is what I think is probably confusing some people out there. So that is the decommissioning part. But essentially it just means that you again are scanning the product and you're pulling it out of that circulation supply chain. So it means that someone can't pick it up, someone can't falsify it and then pass it on to developing countries. Now, I know what you're thinking. I work in a GP surgery, I work in a dentist or a care home or a hospice. So do I need to comply with this new FMD law? Well, essentially, what the MHRA, so that's the Medicines Health and Regulatory Agency, have been doing is consulting with the Department of Health about this very thing. And they've brought out what we call Article 23, which is a list of care providers who would be involved with the supply of medicines, who would be exempt from the requirements of this law. So it's worth taking a look. Of course, I'm sure that you have a lot more questions around this very thing. The Royal Pharmaceutical Society have produced some very useful sort of links and handy hints and tips and guidance documents for you on their rPharmS website. They also have a research summit that's due to come up, and there's a presentation being given in that research summit on this very thing, on FMD. Equally, if you are a member of the RPS, then you can ring our pharmacist support teams, get in touch with them. They're fully briefed on FMD requirements and will be able to guide you on what you need to know.